It's Sunday, October 15th here in Bay Area, Palo Alto. My name is Ophir Gutelzon. I'm one of the co-founder of UnXeptable. I want to say that I'm happy that you're here, but I'm actually not. It's a very tough week for all of us, but I'm happy that we are here together. And I'm happy that we can come together as a community to speak soon with Yair Golan. He is joining us from the field, I think, so we need to bear a little bit with patient until he's joining. In the meanwhile, just a couple of words about those of you who doesn't know me or doesn't know UnXeptable. So UnXeptable is a grassroots movement started back in 2020 with a mission to save Israeli democracy. In the last 9 months, we were taking the streets here in San Francisco and in more than 40, 50 cities around, or 70 cities around the world, together with another organization called Defending Israeli Democracy. We are in the midst of like all the protest movements, switching our mind to one thing, which is saving Israel. We're doing everything we can in the last week to organize, mobilize, fundraise, and putting a lot of attention on the hostage situation. This is why I have the Bring Them Home sign here. There is a QR code that will actually lead you to the crisis page of UnXeptable, where we actually have a list of the fundraising options that are verified with the war room that the protest movement has created back in Israel. All the civilians that are actually doing whatever they can to support the situation. And together with me today is co-hosting is Neri Life Choma, which is we're going to do our best to handle this meeting. We have over 1,200 people who signed up for the meeting, which is the first time we have so many people. I see Yair join. Hold on, admitting him. Now I need to find Yair and somewhere in the hundreds of people and spotlight him. Let me find him. Ask to unmute and ask to start video. Yair,
good evening.
Yair, you're here in the center of the screen.
All right. Is that okay?
Yes, that's awesome. I'm going to put, okay. Let's put both of us on spotlight. Yair, we're having, still people are joining. We have now 857 people on the Zoom from around the world.
Wow.
Yes, I said wow too. We are recorded and we are live streaming on Facebook.
Right.
Okay. So I was just using the time until you joined to give a brief to the people about UnXeptable. So I will just, because more people joined. So my name is Ophir Gutelzon. We are hosting today Yair Golan. I'll give a quick brief about Yair soon. UnXeptable again is a grassroots movement organization. It was organizing and mobilizing people for saving Israeli democracy in the last 3 years, but mostly around since January. And as mentioned, we switched like everyone else, and I assume Yair too, everyone is now focusing on saving Israel, and we can deal with and bringing the hostage situation, bringing home the people that were the hostages. And without further ado, let me just give you a quick background about Yair. So Yair Golan is a reserve major general, what we call in Hebrew aluf, which is also a champion in Israel Defense Forces. During his military service, he served among other roles as the IDF Deputy Chief of Staff, commander of the Home Front Command and commander of the Northern Command. He won 4 campaign medals, similar to service medal, but with higher status. As an award, we usually involve deployment of foreign region or service in a combat zone. Golan served as Deputy Minister of Economy in the 36th Israeli government and a member of the Knesset representing Meretz in 2019 to 2022. And I will add also that Yair in 2016, I think, was raising the fear of the processes that the Israeli society is going through, and some will say that because of that he wasn't the chief of staff. But we are going to talk more about that later. Yair, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time. I see that you're not on uniform, but I know that you are on uniform all the day since things happened back last Sunday in Israel, last Saturday in Israel, and this was here Friday night. How are you doing, Yair?
Well, I can tell you, I served in the military for 38 years. It's quite a long time. And I can tell you that this is the most difficult time I ever experienced. What Israel experienced in the last 9 days is a major military blow. It's a terrible civilian disaster, and it has no precedent in the Israeli history. And we need, at this time, to ask ourselves, all right, what was happened here? How comes that such a terrible disaster happened? And at the same time, we should not sink in this, despair. And we need to take all our forces in order to fight, and to fight well, the Hamas. But at the same time, we need to do it not from our stomach, but from our mind. And we need to do it professionally, and we need to do it with clear goals, and we need to be realistic concerning the complexity of this, of the future advantage, of the future challenges. So I would like to say a few words about what happened, and few words about the next few days, and few words about the destiny of Israel. All right. Is that a reasonable deal for this evening?
This is a reasonable deal. The stage is yours.
All right. All right. Thank you. What happened in Israel is no doubt a collapses of the perception, the very basic perception. What is Hamas all about? For years, for many years, we tend to think that Hamas in the Gaza Strip, since it got this governmental responsibility, and since it has different aspects rather than terrorist organization, they are more reasonable and more responsible and more rational than we tend to think until 2006, until Hamas came to power. And we were wrong. We were terribly wrong. Hamas is Hamas. You cannot reconcile Hamas, you cannot reconcile Hezbollah, and you cannot reconcile Iran. I have no intention to say that they are all exactly the same. I have no intention to say that Hamas is an Iranian proxy. It's untrue. But this strong Islamistic approach, this major tendency to look at the historical events from I would say apocalyptic approach. Well, this is something that characterizes Al-Qaeda and ISIS and Iran and Hezbollah and Hamas. This is the extreme Islamic movement. And we didn't understand that. But more than that, I think that the overall perception of Benjamin Netanyahu was very, very wrong. In fact, in 2009, 2 months after the Cast-led operation, Netanyahu established his second government. And he got the Gaza Strip and Hamas in the most favorable situation. The Palestinian Authority was strong. Hamas, after Cast-led operation, was very weak. It was a major blow for Hamas, and any, I would say, rational Israeli leader without this tendency to put his personal and political consideration above the national considerations would say the following: all right, now is the time to weaken the Hamas even more and to strengthen the Palestinian Authority. Netanyahu did exactly the opposite. Why? Because he is under the influence of the extreme right in Israel, and I would say one of the most important principles for the extreme right in Israel is to weaken the Palestinian Authority in order to annex Judea and Samaria, the West Bank. All right, that took Netanyahu along all his long tenure. But since January this year, he also poured the Israeli society, ruined the diplomatic status of Israel internationally, and exposed all weaknesses of the Israeli society to our enemies. Netanyahu tore the Israeli society, the Israeli civilians, by his own, usual methods of enhancing fear and anxiety and hate and all his favorable methods of, political maneuvers. This is a shame. This is a shame. I cannot imagine the last attack launched by Hamas without this perception that Israel is very, very weak, that the Israeli society is very weak. And therefore, politically, I put the blame upon Netanyahu, no doubt. The political punishment for such an activity is go home. You need to go home. Ignoring his judicial problems, which could take him to prison. But right now, and as soon as possible, you need to go home. Saying that, I have no intention to ignore the military blunder we went through. This is the most destructive Israeli military failure since 1948. And I have no I'm sure that all Israeli supreme echelons in the IDF do understand that, well, it will have a significant personal consequences. Unfortunately, very good people that failed terribly. And right now, it's not time for, investigations and inquiries and discussions. Now we need to beat Hamas militarily. We need to suppress the military wing of Hamas entirely. We need to block any ability to re-equipped of Hamas for the next generation, and we need to figure out what is the right international and regional consideration in order to make sure that someone else rule the Gaza Strip. This is I would say, the goals of this war. Saying that, we have two goals. First is to isolate this front from intervention of any other element in the region, no matter whether it's Iran, Shiite militias from Syria, or Hezbollah. And we need to think about the recovery process of all our kibbutzim and villages and towns around the Gaza Strip. I think you can imagine what a terrible blow they experience. I think that you can feel the sorrow and the suffer, and I would say almost the unimaginable situation they experience. And I think it's need to be a major national project for the next 10 years. And people around the Gaza Strip need to feel safe. And people around the Gaza Strip need to feel that their government works for them. They didn't feel that for the last 15 years. And this is a shame. Yes, it is true. Netanyahu didn't visit the kibbutzim around the Gaza Strip since he came to power or recame to power in 2009. Why? Well, they are not the one to support it, but they are the one to live in very close range to Hamas, and they are going to stay there, and they are going to rebuild themselves, and they are going to flourish, and they are going to succeed, and we will hear laughter in the kibbutzim very soon. Very soon. Very soon. It's not a matter of days or weeks. It's a matter of months and years, but it's soon enough. And we need to help them. We need all of us to help them to do so.
Yair, it's not every day that you can hear from someone that did an heroic effort in the first hours, first minutes of the war. Can you tell us about the mindset and action in those few hours when you are taking things into your own hands, in a way, joining the forces, putting your uniforms after realizing that there is not enough army forces that was on the ground in the first hours?
Well, I do not consider my action in the first few hours as bravery. The chaos was terrible. And I think that each one of us, the well-experienced soldiers of the IDF, although we are reservists, although I'm 61, but still in a good shape, each one of us need to do its best in order to help the war fighting effort. It was a coincidence. I got a call. By the way, I got a call from my sister that there are people who escape Hamas and hide themselves in the bushes, very close to the inflicted area. And they are afraid, to go out of the bushes because they have no clue whether there is still or not militant combatants of Hamas in the near area. I'm a well-experienced soldier. I can, I did my very quick situational assessment, and I realized that, all right, I can take my personal, my private car and drove there. I had at that time a rifle with me. It's provide me some sort of self-confidence. So I got by WhatsApp the exact location, and I drove there. It was a terrible scene. I saw a lot of bodies along the road, and then I drove to the field, through the fields. I can tell you that Toyota Yaris is a very good 4x4 vehicle. It's okay. And I managed to find them and to take them out. Then suddenly I got another call. Can you bring my son out of the inflicted region? So I told, in this time it was by coincidence an Haaretz journalist, and I told him, all right, it's okay, I'll go again. So I did it again. I found them and took them out. And then I got another phone call. So to make a long story short, I take another person out of this region. I don't think this is the issue. The main issue is that it was a brutal attack on civilians. And it was a cruelty which is almost unimaginable. And therefore, we need to understand what kind of an enemy we are fighting with. And yes, it was a very, I would say, emotional experience. And we need to take, to put these emotions aside, and we need to think with calm minds how to beat Hamas in the most effective manner, how to fight Hamas in the most in order to achieve our strategic goals, and how to do it in the shortest time possible. Although I think it will take some months, maybe years, to reach a situation where we will provide our citizens a good sense of security and a willingness to grow up their children around the Gaza Strip, even very, very close to the border fence.
Yair, I always want to apologize that I didn't ask you where does the loss meet you personally, the people you know, any family member, friends, kids.
Well, I would like to say that what we see right now in Israel is a major change because, many of my best friends lost their sons or daughters in this terrible attack. And I think that we rediscover ourselves. What, what make us, a people is much stronger than the political disputes we have. So now we need to say to ourselves that, yes, we are going to stick with good and positive values. We need to put aside the poisonous politics imposed on us by Benjamin Netanyahu and the extreme right. We need to re-understand that we have so much things that we share in common, that Israel should be a liberal democracy and at the same time the homeland of all the Jewish people, including reforms and conservatives and modern Orthodox and ultra-Orthodox, all of us. We can live together. We know how to do it. We have some disputes, but they are very, very small comparing to the things that bring us together. And we need, for sure, a new leadership. It's unacceptable, totally unacceptable, that anyone from this government will lead us in the future. They lost the legitimacy to lead the Israeli people. And it's not a matter of revenge. This is totally not the issue. We need to live together. But politically, we need to work hard in order to explain every Israeli and every member of the Jewish people that we need a major change. We need to do something different. We need a new direction. And this new direction should be positive. It should provide us hope. It should provide us a sense of humanistic Judaism combining with modern and liberal approach to life. Yes, I do realize that we have this populist wave encompasses the globe. We are part of this. It's terrible. It's terrible with Trump in the United States. It's terrible elsewhere in Brazil, on the Philippines, in Hungary, or in Poland. And it's terrible in Israel. And we are going to finish that. It's very unfortunate that we had to experience such a major blow to understand that. And we need you with us, the democratic liberal forces in Israel, to support us, to do it together. It's a common effort, and we need to save Israel together. And you can be in contact with me, how to do, what to do. It won't be end, by days or weeks. It's a matter of an effort that should take us into the future for years. But we will do it because we have the stamina and we have the moral advantage of being right. So let's do it together.
That's so positive vibes that you are sending, even in this immediate crisis. What do you think is reasonable thoughts about the pressure we can make from here about the hostage situation? So that's one question. And the other question is, and if we even should create pressure, could it hurt the situation? And the second question is, you mentioned that the fight with Hamas will not be short, or and the question that we all kind of like ask ourselves, like, we know that the state of mind of the public opinion will be shifting very soon, in the sense of like, because we are going to try and defeat Hamas, there will be losses of civilians in Gaza, even though we're not meant to do that. And it's on Hamas' hands as well. But any idea or thoughts about how to manage that situation, how to give more runway in the public opinion to defeat Hamas? I mean, some people are just comparing Hamas to ISIS, and it feels like maybe that is giving us kind of like a way to compare those two. Your thoughts about that?
Well, I would say the following, that these two issues are highly complicated and very sensitive. Let's start with the hostages. Well, it's extremely complicated. And since the war is going to last for a long time, I think we need to take it into our considerations. It should influence the operational methods, and I cannot elaborate about that. I cannot say, in public, all right, in what a way it will influence our considerations concerning the ongoing operation. But I can assure you, we take it into account. And we want to free our hostages, and we want them back, safe and alive in Israel. This is one thing. And about Palestinian civilians, we asked them to move out of the Gaza City and to be south of the Gaza River, and in order to remain safe. We would like to fight inside in Gaza without civilians. The one who tried to block the civilians is Hamas itself. So yes, they are responsible for civilians in the Gaza Strip, and they are the one who want to keep civilians in the combating zone. It's a shame. We do not ignore it. We have no intention to kill civilians just because they are there. No intention to do it. But I would like you to open, in Google Map and look at the satellite pictures, aerial pictures of the Gaza Strip, and understand this is a very dense, area with a lot of buildings, highly complicated concerning war fighting, and we will do our best to keep civilian lives, but we cannot assure their safety while they remain in the combating zone. This is our approach. We are going to fight strictly according to the international law, the war law, and we have no intention to free up, our firepower to hit civilians just because they are Palestinians. No intention to do so.
No,
it's complicated, and by the way, it will affect the pace of the war. It will be very, very slow.
I have a couple of questions that that are coming. I mean, what is the international I mean, how does other countries can help? So we know that the civilians that were hostage or hurt or murdered are coming from many, many countries. I think more than a dozen countries, if I heard right last time. Also, the other question is, we have Jordan and Egypt who are in peace with us. Saudi Arabia was like in the process. Do we see any, or Turkey that we are in relationship with, do we see any pressure coming from the Arab countries that could help solve the situation? And again, I'm intentionally not asking about is the government capable to deal with that? I'm asking your thought about, I mean, is there is any other channel that we can open or we can influence by, I don't know, rally in front of Egypt, Turkey, Jordan?
Yeah. Well, no doubt the international pressure is important. No doubt that in order to reach new arrangements for this region needs an international intervention. And no doubt that the recovery process of the Gaza Strip is also very, very important. And that's need also international involvement. So I think no matter how you look at it, no matter what phase is your favorable phase, there is much to do in order to provide some positive influence for this ongoing war fighting and the process that will follow the end of the war. So there is much to do, no doubt.
So a question about the Jewish Americans or Jewish diaspora role in this effort. We have seen amazing support coming from communities. We had in the last week a lot of vigils that we were part of. We created rallies for Bring Them Home together. In the next week or two, again, people will, in most of the world, will go back to their day-to-day life. As the war keep going, what is the role of the Jewish diaspora in this process, in your mind?
Well, I think that the influence of Jewish diaspora, as long as the war is there, well, it's more about, moral support and diplomatic influence. And this is it, probably. I would say that we need to start the recovery process of the kibbutzim and moshavim and towns around the Gaza Strip as soon as possible. Think about, the people who observe this major blow and in what a condition they are right now. And I'm sure, because I talk with them, on a daily basis, that they want to see something positive. They want to get out of this misery. And they want to see their communities flourishing again. And here, I think, with this mutual effort, we can do fantastic things in order to help them. I think it's a project of the Jewish people.
Yeah, and
I would like to think about it as a project of the Jewish people. It's more important than anything else. This is a first priority for the next Israeli government. It will be, without Netanyahu, it will be the first priority of the coming government.
Rebuild.
Or of the next government.
Yair, there is a lot of questions coming about the role of civilians and many of them were part of the protest movement. We saw Achim Laneshek, brothers and sisters in arms. I mean, on the field. I mean, I know that a lot of you here went to many fundraising opportunities. Can you share like what's happening with the people who were why is it so critical for the civilians now to take in a way in charge of logistics? We hear the needs for buying.
It's extremely important. It's extremely important because Netanyahu weakened governmental wings in a very clear manner. And he did it for political reasons. He took, the functions of government, gave it to ungovernmental elements that could be influenced easily by politicians. This is a public corruption. And these bodies are dysfunctional, and they did nothing after the crisis. So we, the civilians of Israel, we managed to take all our talent and our capabilities and our strong motivation to help those kibbutzim who were inflicted, and we are going to help them. So we take, it's not my personal project, I'm not part of it, but the unbelievable guys of Achim Laneshek, Brothers in Arms, made it. And other organizations, they all went to the south. Those who protest against Netanyahu, they are the one who really help this current government to overcome the severe civilian situation. Unbelievable. We are the one who do it. And we work hard, and we will continue to work hard because we put the interests of the civilians of Israel upon the political consideration. And I think that during war, it's essential to put the national consideration above the political consideration. Even now, Netanyahu has no intention to give up his political and personal consideration. Why it took so long to establish a unified government? Why it took so long to bring only Benny Gantz to his government? Why it took 5 days, and it's still, they didn't start working up to now, while Benny Gantz declared that he is willing to join this government as soon as possible. And the only answer for that is the following: Benjamin Netanyahu preferred his political destiny upon the interests of Israel. I'm sorry to say that. It's shocking. It's almost unbelievable. But this is the situation, unfortunately.
And what do you say, just to follow on that, what do you say on those who are saying now it's not the time to talk about that, it's a war, we cannot replace a prime minister during a war? I mean, my answer to them is that if Chamberlain was able to be replaced, I mean, we can probably do that, but I mean, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think it's a matter of balance. On the one hand, it's not the most important thing. Yes, now we need to fight, and we need to fight effectively, no doubt. This is the most important thing. And that's need to be in the center of the Israeli interests, public interest. But we cannot ignore the political considerations that brought us to these terrible times. And therefore, I declare it over and over and over again that someone is responsible for this situation. And although this is not a time to to put it as the most important thing for the Israeli public. It's still there. And we are going to solve this problem. We are going to recapture our moral compass, and we are going to fix Israel according to the values that it was established upon. And we can do it. Concerning that, I'm very optimistic.
Thank you. There is a couple of more questions that I want to ask on behalf of the audience, and thank you everyone for bearing with us. It's a lot of questions are coming in. Going back to the, I want to press a little bit more about your image, which I think is applied to many of the protest movement people. I mean, like there is the poisoning machine are keep telling stories about the role of the people in the left, the role of the people, how they kept maybe doing, blaming the people on the left on this situation. I mean, you were particularly demonized a lot since 2016 when you talked about the processes that the Society of Israel is going through. Actually, our last Zoom before the crisis, before the war, was with Yair Nehorai. Actually educated us about the roots of the messianic process that the society in Israel is going through. Now it seems like you are becoming, everyone is looking at you as a hero, and it's a consensus. And I even heard apologetic from on the last item that you were in Kan 11, Kan 11. Do you think this crisis is going to change the minds of people? Because we have seen other operation in Gaza where people, even in Sderot, Netivot, Ashkelon, right? Even though they were bombed and from Hamas for 20 years, they kept thinking that Netanyahu is a protector of Israel. So how do you feel the change of the change of mind in Israel is going through, if you apply it to yourself or to others?
Well, I think it will change the mind of Israelis. And I think many people understand that they were victims of this poisonous machine, a propaganda machine established and launched by Benjamin Netanyahu and by the extreme right. It's absolutely clear. And I got, many messages and many very emotional meetings with Israelis, and people say to me, all right, we were wrong. We were wrong. The fact that someone convinced us that we need to hate our brothers is totally wrong. And I wouldn't say that I'm happy with that, because it's about fixing, unbelievable situation. But, well, this is very positive. And I think that as long as the war fighting proceed, more and more Israelis will understand that we need to stick together. And with all the problems and the interests that tore us here and there, we have much more in common. And the forces that put us together must be much stronger than those who tore us up. And I think this is the right time. If we want to take from this crisis an opportunity to fix the Israeli society, then we don't understand the direction of history, or the meaning of that we have no intention or no ability to influence the direction of history. So this is a historical time. And therefore, I think we need to work together in order to fix Israel. This is the time. We won't have another opportunity. This is the last opportunity to do something positive, influential, and systematic.
So I have two more questions. One is, we're almost on time. I mean, I have two more questions. One would be something that relates to the original reasons why the state of Israel was created, which is like to give a safe place for Jewish around the world. And I hear because of the blow of this of this situation. I mean, like a question of like, how can we restore that? The notion that this is still the most safe place around the country, and I have no doubt around the world, and I have no doubt that we will win this war. So there is one question about that. And the other question, which I think probably might be opposite, is like there is a lot of talks about creating a situation that one of the way to defeat Hamas is to create a humanitarian crisis, right? Closing water, closing power, closing. I mean, until there is no other way. I mean, like, is that's one of the strategies that you see as an opportunity to blow Hamas, or it's unquestionable that we are not able to do that? So two questions. Maybe we'll start with the second one and then go to the
All
next.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start with the second question, because this is more operational one. I don't think that this is the right method. The right method is to fight and destroy the combatant elements of Hamas. That's what we need to do. It's to defeat the army of Hamas, the military wing of Hamas. This is the most important thing. The other wings are mainly, about ideas. It's about perceptions. You cannot destroy them. So we need to make sure that by the end of this operation, Hamas has no military capabilities. And the same is true for the jihadic Islam. It's wrong to concentrate your efforts, military efforts, on civilians' targets. And I can take, many examples out of history, out of modern history, why it's much more effective to destroy the military component rather than the civilian one. And again, it will take time. What was the first question? Just please remind me.
The first question was about restoring the trust of the Jewish world, in a way, in the strength of Israel as a safe place for.
Yeah, but the second issue is, in my mind, Israel is a secure place for the Jewish people. For years, it's not necessarily the safest place for the Jewish people. And in a way, we need to fight for this place in the Mediterranean, in the Middle East, for since 48 and even before. I think that the existence of Israel provide impetus to the Jewish existence. And if you think about it, not for the next 2, 5, 10 years, if you think about the next 100 years, I think that Israel is a genuine, interesting, fascinating entity for the Jewish people. And I love this country. I love the people of this country. I think that the positive and something negative friction with the Arab population also provide us some very interesting things. And I have no intention to live in any other place on earth, as long as it remains land of the free. And we should keep Israel as land of the free. And who is better to support this effort rather than people who also live in the land of the free? So let's do it together. And I'm sure that by your own Israeli experience, no matter where is your birthplace, in the United States or in Israel, you truly understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and we have been
We did the right thing. We did the right thing in 48. Let's keep it right. Even with a leftist approach. This is, I would say,
yeah,
the best way to do it.
What we have learned from this crisis, and there is a lot of analysis to be made, is that again, I mean, like there is, it was never about left or right. It was always about right or wrong. And I think that even now we are in this situation where, again, I mean, like when we see people on the streets shouting about pro-Palestine, even though they are meaning that, I mean, and they're supporting Hamas, we need to find a way to put the light on and get all the forces that believe in light and not in evil together. And it's one of those moments that I really want to thank you for taking the time. I mean, like it was very inspirational, and I think it was very important for all of us to hear your voice, a reasonable voice. If there is anything you would like to add that we didn't cover, please do that now. Before we end up the call, the recording will be available on the UnXeptable Facebook page, YouTube. Make sure you follow us. There is a lot of work. Again, I mean, like bring them home is really going to be a lot of our effort in the next weeks to come. And there's a lot of things to do. Yair, your last words, please.
Well, all I would like to say is thank you very much. And hopefully we will see very soon a calm situation in Israel. And as always, you are very, very welcome. I feel that part of the recovery process is also to reconnect the Jews of the diaspora with the Jews of Israel and with the citizens of Israel, and make Israel a safer and equal country for all its citizens. Thank you very much, and all the best.
Thank you, Yair. Stay safe. Send our love to everyone you see, and we will be in touch. And anyone who wants to keep in touch with Yair, we'll send a follow-up to all the registrants, and you'll know how to contact Yair and his team. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.